One. Yay! Hi, Playful Tribe. Um, so happy to be with you on this delightful Wednesday afternoon. Welcome to episode number 2 of the Alive Confident Free interview series. Today I have the amazing Lynn Turcotte-Shue. She is a mom, a wife, a childbirth educator, a parent coach, a toddler trainer, and the founder of Happy Mammal Wellness. And she helps women starting in pregnancy, helps moms break through their parenting challenges and operate at their highest potential in order to create a positive, nurturing family dynamic. She's super passionate about helping mamas find their power and be a role model, and she's part of the Joyfully Fit tribe. So super fun opportunity to get to talk to Lynn. So Lynn, welcome. Where are you joining us from?
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. I am joining you guys from Voluntown, Connecticut.
Nice.
Yes. Where it has been hot and humid all summer, and we're ready for it to be over.
Oh man, it's starting to feel like fall here. It's crazy.
You need to send some our way.
I will.
Good. All right.
So Lynn, I'm so excited to introduce you to the Playful Tribe. You have a really unique take on parenting that's really beautiful. So can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into parenting and coaching parents?
Yeah, absolutely. So the unique part of my parenting is that I used to be a marine mammal trainer. So for over a decade, I basically taught animals, right? They don't speak English. They throw tantrums just like kids do, only if they throw tantrums and get angry, you get bit. So you got to really be on your game. So my brain has just always been hardwired in operant conditioning, which is the psychology or science that you use to train animals. So when my daughter was born and she started to go from the blob phase to an actual child, when they're little, they're like just little blobs. You don't have to parent much.
Yeah.
But when I needed to start parenting, I found myself training her. I found my brain just going back to that hardwired state. And I use the term train because that's what I did, but really it's teaching, right? It's teaching, not just disciplining, because again, if you discipline, then that just gets everybody frustrated. It's not really telling them what they should be doing. Instead, it's just telling them what you just did is wrong, which that's frustrating for anybody. And so I call it training sometimes, but really it's just parenting as a teacher and a guide and helping them to change behaviors because we all make mistakes. It's part of learning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I train my child. That's basically I train her like she's a sea lion, and I teach all of the parents that I work with to train their children as if they were sea lions as well.
That's really cool. So can you give us an example of what that would look like in terms of eating your broccoli for dinner or whatever it is that moms struggle with?
Yeah, absolutely. So part of what I mentor parents to do is to give their children choices, give them some control, some power over their day, because that will help prevent tantrums. Because a lot of tantrums and not disciplinary situations, but a lot of the things that are going to cause frustration for parents are power struggles, right? Yeah. I asked you to do this. No, I'm not doing that. And it's a power struggle because they don't feel like they have any power to begin with. So if it's a dinner battle, then I will, in my head, the goal is to get her to eat a vegetable, right? So I might put 3 vegetables that I'm okay with in front of her, but she gets to choose. So she feels like she's in control. She feels like she has that power. And so it's not the power struggle anymore, but really she's still doing what I wanted her to do in the first place.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I teach is to prevent the tantrum type situations to begin with. But then if you have that moment, then we need to do some extra stuff on top of it.
Yeah,
For
that makes a
sure.
ton of sense.
But yeah, the power struggles are huge. And it's empathy, right? Like when your life is out of control in a tailspin, we all have those days, like we're grabbing for any sort of control that we can get. And they have the same need.
Right. Yeah. So with all of these different, I mean, there's a million books on parenting. I'm not a parent yet. I hope to be one day. But why would you say this kind of teaching or operating is something that every parent can do? How does that work, and how would a parent kind of grab hold and get started?
Yeah, so that is a great question because I always say to parents, there's no one size fits all solution. There just isn't, because every kid is different, every family is different, every dynamic is different. But then, like a breath later, I'm like, but mine really is a one size fits all.
Yeah.
But the reason that I can say that with confidence, because I've read all the books. I mean, not all the books, but I mean, I've read like Dr. Shefali Sayberry. She's a big parenting guru within conscious parenting. I've read about positive parenting, positive discipline. Like, there's so many catchphrases out there. But what I teach and the way I parent is through operant conditioning, which is literally a science, and it's how we all learn things. So we're already doing this. We just don't realize it. So for instance, I use this example because this is the easiest thing to understand. Like our environment is teaching us. So in operant conditioning, there is a stimulus or something that creates a behavior. And then you do something, and then there's a consequence.
Right.
Depending on the consequence, you either repeat that behavior or you don't. So this is the example, right? If we're by the stove and we're cooking and we notice that the little red light's on and we ignore it and we put our hand there, what happens?
You get burned.
We get burnt. So the next time we see the little red light, we do not put our hand there, because the last time we learned that when that situation is getting set up, that we're going to get burnt if we do that same behavior. So that is operant conditioning. That is the science of learning. It's how our brain takes in information and makes decisions in the future. So that is why I think it can, well, I don't think, I know that it can work for any family because it's already happening.
Right. Our world is already doing it for us.
Exactly.
And so we can either partner with it or try something different.
Exactly. And a lot of the stuff it does, like the environment does for you, you know, like if a kid's running and they fall and skin their knee, well, some kids might not care. But like that's a natural consequence that's just happening. So once you understand what's already happening, which is kind of what I teach parents, then you can start controlling things to manipulate the behavior. And that's where the teaching comes in.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So one thing that I hear a lot, especially with the women in my training group, is like parenting is hard. Understatement, I'm sure. And it just takes so much time. And so something I hear from moms all the time is that they're always like on their kid, trying to teach their kid, teaching their kid, blah, 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 blah. And so they don't really have time for themselves. They don't have time to take care of themselves. And so they sort of melt down or hit their breaking point and then end up with a not so positive relationship with their kid. So how does your strategy and operant conditioning help, one, that parent-kid relationship, and two, help create space for a mom to find time to move their body or eat well or take a breath on the back porch? How does that help?
Yeah, I love that question so much. Because you are one of my self-care methods as a parent. You and your program, I love it. But I'm going to kind of answer that in two parts, right? So the first part is that the title of my program is the present parent, because you have to think of a catchy name for this stuff, right? So I just kind of made that up. But the meat of that is learn, model, teach. So you learn the science, you model the behaviors you want your child to do, and then when they're not doing those behaviors, you teach them the right way. So you want to teach your child these same behaviors. You want them to be healthy. You want them to not have frustration. You want them to be well rested, right? And so the best way to teach them that stuff is for you to model it. So that's a huge motivating factor right there. So my daughter gets up with me every morning, and just for like 5 to 10 minutes, we do morning meditation. We do some quick exercising. And it's not something I said, okay, I want you to go sit and be quiet to get ready for the day. It's mommy does this every morning, so she's going to join in because I'm modeling those behaviors.
That's cool.
So that's kind of the big one there. But when you're not having to discipline, when you're teaching, then the majority of your interactions are really positive, and that builds an amazing foundation in your relationship. So you don't carry that mom guilt with you. You're not carrying around as much stress and frustration. It does take a little bit of effort up front to start thinking this way, right? Because it's not automatic for most people. But once you get it down, like you're on autopilot and you have more time in your day, to be honest, because you're not dealing with all of the fires because you're preventing them ahead of time. So it all kind of snowballs. But self-care is so important. So I'm so glad that you asked that question.
Yeah, so it's almost a combo of inviting your kid into your self-care and saying, hey, this is how you take care of yourself as a human, and then building a really positive relationship. So when you do need to take a step out or a step back and take care of yourself, you don't feel bad about leaving your kid for a minute because you know that this positive relationship is built and you're not carrying guilt or shame or fear.
Yeah. Exactly. And just to give a quick example of the whole modeling thing, but then you being able to step back. My daughter is 4. She'll be 5 in a couple of months. And so she's kind of at this age where the emotions are really super huge and she's like trying to figure out how to deal with everything. And so one of the tools that we have taught her to do is if she feels really frustrated about something, that when we're frustrated in the moment, it's hard to get words out, right? So we've taught her to, in that moment, just go somewhere by herself, take a minute, take some breaths, like just kind of get herself to feel a little bit better and then come back and be able to talk to us so we can help her. And so a part of self-care for me is to model that for her because I want her to see it in action. So when I start to feel like I'm gonna not have a good parenting moment, right? I can say to her, mommy's feeling really frustrated. I just need a second so I can find my words. And I'll like go in another part of the room, or I'll sit down in a chair, or, I'll leave the room physically if it's a really bad moment. And I'll just take a couple breaths and I'll come back in really calm, really composed, and we can communicate. So it all, like I said, when you start to think in the mindset that they're always watching and you start to model these really good behaviors, they become your own habits as well. So,
which is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a skill that a lot of adults struggle with. I feel like take a break and take a step back. To learn that at 5 is amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe I should do that as an add-on later.
Totally.
You train your kids, bring back your wife and your husband and your parents and your sisters and brothers.
Right. So now that you've learned how to teach your kid, let's teach you.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So what is one thing that a mom who's super frustrated and feeling overwhelmed and feeling like she doesn't have time for self-care, she doesn't know how to do this, what's something that she could do starting today to get on the road towards a more calm parenting, positive style?
Yeah, breathe. Like, I know that sounds so ridiculous, but if you're already feeling overwhelmed, for me to tell you find 5 minutes in the day to blah, 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 like that's just adding one more thing. And if you're already feeling frustrated, you're not in a headspace to take in information from me. Like, that's just how it is. And this is how kids are. Like, if kids are frustrated, they're not hearing you. You have to get them to calm down. So literally just take a breath. just take a deep breath. It stops time. Like you give
Yeah.
yourself a moment to kind of reset and get perspective. And literally you're bringing oxygen in. So you'll be able to think more clearly. Like it just
Yeah.
gives you a second to think about what's coming next instead of just like and wanting to lose your sanity. So just
Right.
breathe. That's the best tip I could give. Just take that nice breath. And again, your kids will see you doing that instead of flying off the handle.
Right. Okay,
Nice
so you
breath.
take a breath and then what? Like,
Well, then it's situational. Right?
Right.
So if it's a issue where you're just feeling overwhelmed with life, if you do have a few minutes to just go for a walk, go outside, get some fresh air, take a bath, do an exercise routine. I'm like totally not like plugging you, but like the endorphins just start rushing, right? Like they're like happy hormones.
Yes,
So
exactly.
you've got a ton of 5-minute workouts on your membership site because I've been doing them in the mornings. I don't have a lot of time. So, take 5 minutes and go like the one where you do the core where you're like have us running in place. Like that'll get stress right out because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm too tired to feel stressful afterwards.
Yeah.
If you are in a situation where you're going to need to engage with your child, taking that breath again gives you a moment to compose yourself. So it's not an emotional reaction, it's a well thought out response because you've taken that moment to stop. And again, that works with spouses and parents and brothers and sisters and friends and all of that.
Right.
But the breath kind of starts you in a new direction. Right.
That's
So
so
you're
good.
like on this one path where you may be close to exploding and not a good way. And the breath kind of stops you and takes you onto a different path.
Yeah, that's so good. Just enough to reduce the stress and make a clear decision.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not a parent yet, but I can see even just like the way I get triggered with my husband or whatever. I can, yes, take a breath.
For sure. It's because of the emotions, right?
Yeah.
Like the emotions build and they snowball and they just have their own momentum. And you've got to stop that momentum. And that's what the breath does. It just stops it for a second. So you be like, wait, I don't really want to tell my spouse that I hate them.
Right.
I'm just angry. And that was the word that was about to come out of my mouth. Like,
right.
What I really want to say is I love you dearly, but in this moment, I don't like you very much. Can we have 5 minutes apart? Like, that's way more constructive.
I need to think for a second.
Yes.
Yeah. So good. Gosh, it gets me excited about parenting. It makes me feel like it's possible to have a good relationship with your kid and not to have a crazy negative all discipline all the time.
Yeah, it for sure is. And I will tell you, a lot of people, this might be getting off topic, but a lot of people will say to me, oh, it sounds too good to be true. Like if you're not using any kind of discipline, then how do you get your kids to listen or how do you get things done or whatever? And I just kind of like point to my child. I very rarely have to ask her more than once to do anything. In fact, I very rarely ask her to do anything. I tend to use declarative statements a lot more. So versus a directive. So like a lot of parents battle with the toy issue. Like end of the night, the toys are everywhere, right?
Right.
So we have dogs, and all I have to say to her is, "We're bringing the dogs in a few minutes. Any toys that you don't want them to have access to, but should probably go back in their place." So now she has the choice. I'm not saying pick up your toys. I'm reminding her that if she doesn't, the dogs are probably going to eat them, and then isn't that going to be like because we're not getting you new ones. Like that was the choice you made, which again, it's operant conditioning. Like if you come downstairs and you chose not to pick up your toys and half of them have been chewed, well, there's your consequence. Next time right. So
and it's easy and light and you're not the mean parent. It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure. So it absolutely is possible, and it is probably more effective than some of the other parenting methods that use the harsher discipline stuff.
Right.
Because like I said, you're manipulating what's already happening. You're not trying these new fandangled things. It's happening with or without you. You might as well just join in.
You might as well just use it. That's super cool. So Lynn, if someone wanted to learn more, where could they find you?
Sure. I hang out on Facebook a lot. I shouldn't say that.
In a good way.
Yeah. I check in on Facebook every day. Facebook is my social media platform of choice.
Cool.
I'm not on there all day, I promise. As a parent, well, as just an entrepreneur in general, right? That you don't have. But I have a website. It's happymammawellness.com, and it's MAMA. That's how mama is spelled. I know there's a couple different spellings. So that has like all my contact information, info about my programs and things. But as far as just connecting with me, and if you have questions or anything like that, Facebook is the way to go. I've got a private. Oop! Did you lose me? I'm here. I'm not sure what happened. If I'm still live, I'm going on Facebook. Oh, there we go. I was just saying, if I'm still live and you all can see me, I'm going on Facebook to see if Hallie is messaging me.
I was doing the same thing. I was like, we're just going to hang out here. Lynn's going to come back. So happymamawellness.com.
Yes, right? Is my website.
Happymamawellness.com. Cool. Yep. And then I know that you have a free challenge going right now. Do you want to say a little bit about that in case a mama is interested?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are literally in the middle of this free parenting challenge. It's called Retrain Your Parenting Brain. Nice. And it's 5 days of helping you go from that emotional reaction to the well thought out response, right? Did you lose me again?
Bah.
I can hear you and see you. Are we back?
So if I'm still live, yes. Lynn has an amazing program up. It's a 5-day Retrain Your Parenting Brain mindset challenge. She's going to walk you through a bunch of her best strategies. You should get on there and check it out. It's amazing. I know I've gotten so much gold from this interview, and I hope you guys have too. So check out Lynn at happymamawellness.com. Follow her on Instagram at happymamalmt. And as always, if you don't already follow us on Instagram, please follow Playful Fitness. We've got our new group program starting in just a couple weeks, so get signed up for that. And then we have Joyfully Fit, which Lynn has talked about a little bit on this program as well. And that's only $9 a month, and it's an amazing access to all at-home workout videos from 5 minutes to 40 minutes, and it's super fun. So Playful Tribe, thank you so much. Check us out. Follow us on Instagram. Please share this interview with any friends who you think would like it. It really does make a difference. And subscribe to us on YouTube. That helps us out too. All right, bye, Playful friends.